to my second video. This video is going to be about my current laundry habits. Some of them are zero waste, some of them are better for your skin, some of them are a little more natural. I'm not the most zero waste, minimalist, aesthetic person, but I try to make my routine as realistic as possible whilst also trying to incorporate those other things. I'll show you some of the products that I use. I'll show you some of the techniques that I use and the routines that I use as well. Let's get into the products first, because that'll be the easiest. I brought them all in here with me so I don't have to like get up and go get them. The very first thing is I have really sensitive skin, and a lot of like Tide or all those other big name brands, or even the smaller brands that are like $1. Like I think I used to use Sun detergent and it made my skin break out, but it was like $1 or maybe $3 for a bottle, like a big bottle. So it was good when I was on a budget, but it was not good for my skin. And now my current laundry detergent that I use is actually cheaper than like if I were to buy Tide or anything like that, but it's a little bit more expensive than the Sun one. And it is my I don't want to mispronounce it, Meliora laundry detergent. I got it in the lavender scent. They have different scents. Also, disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by any of these brands. I just like them. And I've been using them before I even started this YouTube channel, so I'm not like influencing anybody. Well, I am influencing you, but in a positive light, that these are realistic items that I find value in. I'm not just trying to like get you to buy them or anything, but these are what work for me. And the first order you can buy the tin, and then you have the powder on the inside. And it's a little hard to open, but like not that hard. You just don't want to like pop it off so then like the powder goes everywhere. It is a powder, so it looks like that. And then it comes with this scoop. So it has like a line inside the scoop. See that like little edge line where you can fill it up halfway, or you can fill it up all the way depending on what type of washer you have. So if you have like a high efficiency washer, you only have to use half a scoop. Whereas if you have like a regular washer, you use a full scoop. Whereas mine is like, we're just renting ours. They're not high efficiency, but they're like energy saver ones. So I use like a little bit more than half a scoop. Sometimes I'll just use half a scoop. The scent doesn't really linger that very long, but I do get the scent to come in a different way in one of my other products. This is really nice. This has lasted me months, and I already bought the replacement because I didn't know how fast I was gonna go through the what was left of this, but it was like up to here when I first got it, and now it's like I'm like halfway done, maybe a little bit less than halfway done. What you do when you want to refill that, instead of just purchasing this whole thing all over again, you just get, it's also cheaper after your first purchase. It's like, I think maybe $20. I think it was less than that for this first tin. After that, it's $12 or $13. And you just get it in this paper bag. And it makes the box that they send it in smell very nice. There's their different scents. I know it's unscented, lemon. This is a new one that I saw. Lemon, lavender, clove, and this is the one that I get, lavender. I just really like the scent of lavender. But this will refill the whole thing. After the laundry detergent, I know people say that you don't really need fabric softener, but it really does make a difference, for me at least, in my sheets and my comforter. That's the only thing I use it on. I don't use it on anything else unless there like happens to be some clothes in there when I'm washing the sheets and the comforter, but like I make sure not to use it on my towels. I know it's not the most zero waste. We do the sun stuff, like airing it out in the sun, in the air outside, open the windows. I've tried putting it in the freezer. Just it's nice to get a little extra scent. There's like notches on the top where you can like fill it. I always do the smallest amount, that way I can make this last as long as possible. And this wasn't too expensive either. I think it was like maybe $8. We can move on to the dryer stuff. Forgot one thing. I use this in the washer as well for like anything that's going to be caught on things or has zippers or Velcro. I'll put it in here so it doesn't mess up my other laundry, or maybe smaller stuff too. Like when I was in my dorm room a couple years ago, I would put all of my socks in here so I didn't lose all my socks. And they still all came out dry and everything. It wasn't bad to keep them all in this bag. I just didn't want to lose anything living with a whole bunch of other people. Now dryer stuff. Now we can do that. I have all of these like wool balls. You can see they look really gross. That's just because I've been using them for years. Like, I haven't had to buy new dryer. This is my first purchase of dryer balls and they've lasted me years. Like, maybe you're supposed to replace them at some point, but I haven't seen a need to because they still work as well as when I first bought them. But they come in this bag. This is the one that I got. I had bought it on Amazon, so I'm contributing to bad things, but also it was what I could afford at the time. This was like, I think maybe like $12, but I could be wrong, but it wasn't that expensive. It came with 6 wool balls, and this one kind of looks a little bit newer. I don't know. The sun's like not really helping me show you up close, and there's so many fuzzies going everywhere. And then to also help with softness, because I know using a lot of natural products can leave your clothes a little bit stiff if you're not like shaking them out a lot. I do still use my dryer. I know a lot of zero waste and like eco-conscious people are probably like screaming at me and really hating that. There's a spider. It just gets my clothes a little bit more fluffy. You can get them dry a lot faster. I try not to use the heat setting. We just use like the tumble. And then my makeshift drying rack right here, my running thing, I put that on some of my clothes on there. Like right now there's a bra up there that's not supposed to be put in the dryer, and I use like Thinks pads or stuff like that for TMI stuff, but I put them up there because they're also not supposed to be dried. Or like blankets, like right here I have a knitted or crocheted blanket. I don't put that through the dryer. Like there are quite a few things I don't put through the dryer, but I want to make that bigger. It's easier to do all my laundry through the dryer, which is where my cozy part of the eco-minimalism that I try to practice comes in, where I'm not going to try and go over the top and do things that are a lot harder to do for everybody, because my husband also doesn't like using some of the things that I have suggested, or like he wants his clothes dried instead of hung up because it's going to take forever, and he wears things like jerseys and like thicker materials that are going to take a long time to dry, air dry, versus putting them in the dryer. So you give and you take. Moving back to the dryer stuff, with these balls, why they're a little bit discolored is I use essential oils. So this is where that scent comes in. I don't buy the really tiny little bottles. I will buy these giant bottles, and it comes with like the squeezer too, which is really nice instead of having to get it through like that plastic top. Like I have another one over here. Like this is one that I use for aromatherapy stuff, like just burning it, and it has like that plastic top. It's really hard to get drops out of that, like specific drops. I only put 3 drops in each ball when I put it in the dryer, so I'm only using 6 drops every load, and it lasts a long time. But with this kind of top, it like you'll get like 4 or 5 drops out just because you don't know, like it's really hard to stop it. And in the dryer, so I can get my clothes even softer, I have these, I know they're plastic, don't judge me. Instead of using dryer sheets and all that mumbo jumbo trying to use chemicals to make your clothes soft, I use a physical thing. So this tumbles around in the dryer with the wool balls and all my clothes, and they just kind of like beat the clothes so that you can get all the lint and everything out, and also so it's not coming out stiff. And they're hedgehogs. I've had these for a really long time, and they're so cute. This is another thing. I know it's in a plastic bag, don't judge me, that's how I store it, because I put a hole in the side of this bag so that I can hang it. So it has like a little hook in my laundry room where I can hang it, and it can stay open so that the piece of soap can dry. But this piece of soap is also from Meliora. It's their stain remover stick. So as you can tell, it doesn't look like it's been used at all, but I have definitely used it a lot. And all you have to do is just like wet the piece of clothing wherever you have the stain, and then you just rub this on there, and then you just use your fingers to kind of like scrub it, or you can use a brush or whatever tool that you would like to use, and you can either just throw it in the wash and the stain will come out while you're washing it in general, or you can just stick your clothes back under the sink and just wash that one spot. That way you're not like having to wash the whole entire piece of clothing. Another product that I really like to use, especially if you're going like camping for a while or if you've just run out of detergent, I have this bar. This is, I don't remember what brand it was, but I just bought this at Kroger. They just have the bars there. I'm sure you could find it at like Walmart or Target or any place that sells groceries or laundry detergent. But it's a like laundry soap bar, and as you can see, it looks like I took a big bite out of it, but I really just used one of my cheese graters to like grind it into a powder because we had run out of laundry detergent, and I just threw that in with the wash. But you can also use this to wash your clothes by hand. I had taken a trip to Turkey. This is when I was very religious and I was going to a religious college, and I went on a summer trip, like 2-week trip to Turkey to be a camp counselor there. I used this to wash my clothes while I was there because they didn't have like washer or dryer, and I was there for 2 weeks. So washed my clothes with this in a bucket, and then we just hung up our clothes on clotheslines where we were staying. And that was really nice. I was able to wash my clothes, and a lot of other people also forgot their stuff, so I let them borrow it. I know that's a little gross, but like, it's soap. Just clean your clothes. Last but not least, my sock bag. I made this. It looks atrocious and very in your face, but I made this when I was like 14 with my mom. We were just having fun with a whole bunch of like different materials, and it holds, let me get all of them out, all of my weird miscellaneous socks that don't have partners. And every once in a while I'll go through it and just take all the socks out and try to find their partner. Well, there's one. See? There we go. Now all these socks don't have partners. Wait. We found another partner. See? Now I just have 4 socks that don't have friends. You lonely socks. Yeah, that's also how you can do it. I'm sure some people also, if you're like zero waste, you don't really care if your socks match, but that really bugs me like a lot. Like I can just feel the difference in like the thickness and the texture of the sock, or how far it goes up like my ankle or anything. They have to match. Like that really bugs me. And if I don't find a partner for it, then maybe I'll turn it into like a little rice bag or something. That's how you can keep all your socks organized. There's other things that I want to change in my routine to make it more zero waste, but I also want it to, 1, be good for my skin, 2, not be an inconvenience to me or my husband. I don't want unpractical things. I want it to be an easy transition that has benefits versus not being beneficial. That's my laundry care routine. Hopefully soon I can not have to use this as my drying rack, but the drying rack that I want to get is made of metal, so it's a little bit more expensive. I feel like a metal one that I can attach to the wall too, so it's not taking up too much space, would be the best. And I just have to save up for that because your girl doesn't make a lot of money. So we'll just make these small little switches over time, which is what you should do with these things. Like, don't just go out and buy all of these things all at once. Like, I used to wish that I could do that, and I thought that's what everybody else did, until I started like doing it myself and realizing, well, I just need to take this one step at a time, which is how you should do any sort of transition in your life. And this was a transition for me, and it took me a while to find out what products actually worked. I hope this video was informative. I hope that you were able to learn something from this, or maybe take something away, or maybe you already do a lot of these things and I'm really proud of you. Yay! Keep it up. And if you don't want to make these switches, like, at least you can see that some people are making these switches and they're making that difference. Subscribe and like. I'm gonna try to start making videos come out every Monday. We'll see how that goes, but I'm gonna try to be on a consistent basis because I know that that's the best way to keep interacting with you guys and bringing you good content. Okay, well, I'm gonna end this. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever you would like to do, and I'll see you next week.